Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about cinema, 4D. In particular, I've been playing with a little bit of modeling, and I want to talk a little bit about texturing. So first of all, modeling. As you can see here, I made something semi-resembling a coin. Now you use the 1, 2, 3 button to move it around. Now this, basically, I can try to reproduce this and give you an idea, but you can look at what I did here. Actually, you can't very well because I'm blocking it, so we're going to move it down in this corner. We're going to move me. So you can see here we have a cylinder. Well, first of all, this is a null. So it's basically like, think of it almost as a folder. It lets you address things as a group. Then you have a cylinder and a text spline. So let me save this, and I'm going to try to show you. Let's do a new one, and we'll see what we can do. Let's get a new cylinder. You can see there are several steps, and we get our cylinder right there. And now what we want to do is shrink it down to something that's kind of coin size. Whoop, that's too big. What do we want? Probably, let's see, 10. That looks, and then I'm going to make it, and you want to do this all before you, when you hit scale. Is it, I want to go into mode. Let me make sure I'm in the right mode. I'm in object mode. There we go. And you can see this little yellow thing here. That should let me make it a little bit bigger. I mean, we're going to probably end up shrinking it. But for now, I'll go back to the cylinder. And I'm going to make the segments, let's say 24. So I have enough segments. Okay, now the easiest thing if we're going to make a little cut here is to go to the F1 is perspective, F2 is top, and F5 will show you all of them, F3 and 4, or I think left or right, or one of those. Very similar to Houdini. Okay, so now we got this cylinder, and what we want to do is make a loop cut. Now, think of M as modification. I gotta put this down or it gets funny. So you want an L loop or path cut. And actually, before I do that, I have to hit this, and I have to go to edge mode. And now I can do my ML, which is going to be my loop cut, and we'll get it right around there. Okay, so I have a loop cut, and now the next thing we need to do is select this inner part. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this faces mode here, and we're going to go to selection mode. And what I heard is Control Shift makes this much easier, and you can see you just come around, and there you go. You got your item selected. So now, no, I have lost it. now we do, what was it? M, I put this down, M, and then I want extrude, which is it is T. But before I do that, let me go back to, well, let's go to this mode, this view. Whoop. And M for modify, T for extrude. And now it gets interesting. What you want to do is not on the thing itself. You can move it in or out, and we're going to want to bring it down a little bit. Like that. And now we have our extrude. So, now, the next thing, remember I have this text spline here, and what I want to do with the text is we're going to put, if you saw the, we can put a number, you know, like 100 ounces or whatever we want in terms of text. Now you can also do a spline of whatever design, especially if you're, like we saw, like we did the other day in Houdini. And to do the text, what we want to do first with the text spline is we want to change it to what we want it to be. And that is, let's go do what I did before, which is 100 ounces. Okay, 100 ounces. And now obviously it's too big. So what we want to do is want to resize this. So that is this scale. And we're going to scale our text spline, and I think this will, yeah, this shrinks it up. And let's bring it up a little bit. Let's go back up here. We're probably going to need to shrink it some more. And there are shortcuts that I know. I am not good at remembering shortcuts. I don't know about you all, but I'm not. If you look, what is it? Let's see, that's modes. Tool, so it's ERT. E is for move, R to rotate, and T is to scale. So, but we can go here, click scale, select scale, scale it down some more. And then we can go back and move it and put it right here. Now, obviously, this needs to be extruded too. Now, we're going to do this a little differently because we're not doing modeling. We've got a spline. And I always forget what's under what, but I think it's under here. So you got this extrude. Now, the way you do it in Cinema is you put the text spline under the extrude. It has to be, and the way you know it's under is when you go to move it, you see the down arrow, and that will put it under the extrude. There we go. Now, obviously, that's too big, so we're going to bring it down. Well, did it extrude it? No? Oh, it made the height. And why is the height? Oh, maybe I have the wrong, no, this is the correct orientation. So, height is, well, that's interesting. That did not happen last time. Oh, you know why? Because I'm on the text spline, not on the extrude. That'd be on the extrude. There we go. And we bring it down to, let's say that. Let's make it 3. See what that looks like. And now we're going to want to move this. So we're going to move it into place. And notice it moves it as a group, together. So we move it right here. And we can also, that looks pretty good. And so we have it extruded. Now, we have, you can do anything, any kind of spline. And what we want to do is put this all together. So I'm going to create a null. A null is, and we're going to call it, in this case, coin. And we're going to move the extrude under there. And we're going to move the cylinder under there. And now we have one thing, coin. And the nice thing is you can now treat it as one object. So now we have something. And the other thing that you would probably want to do is bevel this, which is basically what you would do is you would go into the model mode, do the edges. Similar to what we did, you'd want to do an edge selection. And what the edge selection is going to do is, let's see if I can, have to go into edge mode. And you need to be in, edge mode I think should be good. And put this down. And you, let's see, loop selection I think is what we want, because there's loop and there's ring. And I'm still not in it. All right, I want to be in a selection. That's right. Okay. I'll put this down because that'll confuse it. U, L. And now I should be able to, let's see, unless I didn't get it. U, let's see, loop selection, L. Oh, I need to select the cylinder for that. U, and then L. And now I should be able to see what should happen is I should be able to no, this is not going the way. Well, you would select the edges and then because this is not working. Maybe because I need to be in edge mode, which I am. And I should be able to, it just wasn't giving me the, there we go. And now that's selected. So you have this selected, and then what you would do is, again, you modify. M is modify. and you would do bevel, which is S, and you have a bevel, you should have a bevel tool, M, S, M, S, M, and let's, M, which is modify, and bevel, which is S, M, S. Okay, so we got the bevel selected. Now what did I do? Oh well, that's kind of weird. I don't know what happened. And let's see. My object's gone. Window. There we go. So, don't know if I got a bevel, but let's try that again. So, M, and then I'm going to do a, what was it, S. And I'm going to hold the S down, and I'm going to, see, you can see the edges being beveled right there. And you want to bevel edges because in the, you know, on real objects, there are no perfectly straight edges. Let's see, let's make this a little bit smaller, and I think that, so you can see it. So we have now this. Now, the next thing is you want to look like something, and what I want to show you is grayscale, what I like to use, which makes it easy. Now, you can make your own textures, but let's see, plus library, I think that's it. You can select different, you can see this comes up. And you got different types of materials. You have car paints, neon, paper, metal. It should be metal here. So let's do, and you can see we got all kinds of gold here. Let's get out of this selection here. There. All right. Let's just, so we can do a bunch of things. Gold, different types of gold. Now, one thing you have to realize with the Greyscale Gorilla stuff is they do have different ones. So you can make it as nice or as not nice as you want. You can have like almost, you can have perfect gold, or you can have a little bit of rough gold. I'm going to go with gold smudged, and what I want to do is, let's see if I can find where that is. Because what you're going to notice is metal. So you got there it is, metal octane. So we're going to go into Octane, and we're going to look for gold. can have gold patina, gold hammered, gold 1, white gold. Guess there are other golds, but that's a perfectly clean gold. Thought there'd be more different kinds. We saw more different kinds, but they may not be. Well, they're metals volume 1 and metal volume 2. Let's see if there's any other metal. And you can see it's based on your what you're using here, whether you're using Arnold, Octane, Redshift. So let's see. I'm surprised that there aren't more golds. Or just plain old gold 1. So what you would do is you drag that right onto your coin. And let me show you something here. We're going to get into this a bit more, but you can see it now. And what's kind of nice, I think this is, hopefully I got the right one, because this should be, yeah, Octane. So what you should, I'm trying to see if I can find you have many different things you can select. They also have, and I'm trying to see if I can find it, you can go into let's close this. Let me just make sure. I'm going to change the render. Render to picture. Well, let me change the render settings. Because what we want to do is want to change it to Octane renderer. And let's see if I can. Not sure why I'm not seeing. There should be a button that I'm probably missing that lets you see this as a whole network. But you can see we have. I'm going to do render in viewer so you can actually see it. It's going to render it here, so I'm going to have to bring that up. So there's obvious. Oh, let me show you. Obviously, I'm not done yet because this is not lining up. It's hard to tell, even if you do. Actually, what we probably want to do is go into, oh, you can't even see it. Hold on. There it is. You see how high it is? So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna hit F, go here. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And I'm gonna go here and hit F3. And then select this extrude. And I'm going to hit 2 and make this, hopefully make this bigger. And now for some reason, it probably didn't. Now it's hard to tell. Let's. There. Now we know. Now, this is, show you, this should update. Actually, no, it's not going to update. Let me see if I can get it to re-render. You know what? We're gonna try it again. We're gonna render it. Actually, what I'll do is I'm gonna render it. Octane has a picture viewer that will bring up. So let me show you that. That's not it. There we go. Show you that. So you can see now, you can see the coin. Obviously it's not lit, it's, you know, there's nothing, but you can see you actually made something that kind of looks like. Now, one thing you can do, and I want to try something, is you can do a subdivision, which will give it more of a smooth look. I forget where subdivision. Very convenient. So let's see what happens when I do a subdivision surface. And you can see it looks a lot smoother. Now, the thing you have to realize about subdivision surface, and believe me, I learned this the hard way, and it's not looking that great, actually. Because, let's see, because the Z kind of looks funny, and the 1 looks funny, but the more cuts you have, the nicer it's gonna, the more it's gonna retain its shape. So, but this does look kind of coinish, and I don't, you know, it'll be interesting to see what this looks like lit, and I want to see if I can find, let's see, I think, oh, it's up here. There we go. Is it going to show me the... That's interesting. This is where you can do all your adjustments. You can change all your different properties, and what it's supposed to do is show you, let you go into I don't want that. Let you bring up a graph type of thing, but I'm not seeing it for whatever reason. I mean, it's showing me all this, but what it should show me, and maybe because this is an older version or an older thing, I mean, you can do everything. It's just, you can see where it's assigned, you can change all the different adjustments, but typically in Octane, now I'm going to try this experiment here. I have Octane, and I'm going to bring up the Octane dialog, and I'm going to say, well, maybe not. Let me get this out of the way here and see what we can see. There. This has gotten a little big here. Let's see if I can. There. I'm going to move. It's good to have multiple monitors when you're doing this. Let's see. Create. Material. Redshift materials. So it's probably from here. Lights, texture, environment, materials, create. Octane universal material. So you go here, and I'm still trying to find that little button that, no, that's not what I want. There should be a button, and I'm just not seeing it. And that'll show you a whole, instead of looking at it like this, you can see it as a graph, as a whole bunch of nodes. You know, a node type of graph that you can then do a whole bunch of sophisticated things, which we'll get into at some point, not necessarily right now. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you got some idea about how you do some basic modeling, use a texture that's already pre-prepared. Again, the Greyscale Gorilla, it's not cheap, but they have, if you're doing this stuff, they give you not just the, bunch of textures, they give you a bunch of tools, like this is for using HDRIs, they give you lighting stuff, they give you, this is animation, and they also have a bunch of training. So for, if you're doing cinema, this may be a good product for you, depending. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.